Joe Flowers here with Crypto Indoor, and we're with the Stihl Timbersports.
Yes, I am actually the Stihl Timbersports current U.S. title holder. My name is Arden Coger Jr. I'm from Charleston, West Virginia, and I've been using axes and saws, chainsaws, crosscuts my entire life.
Excellent. So he is the guy to go to for real axe info and chainsaw info. So can you tell us a little bit about the history of the Timbersports here?
Timbersports actually began here in the United States in 1985. However, lumberjack sports began in Australia in 1870 and started in the Basque region of Spain probably about 1520 or 1525. Part of one of their traditions as becoming a man was to do what was called an endurance race and then run a marathon and then scythe an entire hillside before they could actually propose to their then wife. And their endurance race consisted of cutting 9 15-inch beech logs followed by a 2-foot beech log, and then they ran the 15 miles, and then they scythed the hillside, and then they could propose to their wife. That eventually evolved into an actual lumberjack sporting event in Europe. In Australia, it began as a challenge. It's happened at a bar. Two men got into an argument who were loggers, and they said, well, I am the best axeman, and the other one said, no, I am the best axeman. So they put 20 quid on the table, and the winner of the event began the first lumberjack sporting event in Ulverston, Tasmania. In the United States, it didn't come around until probably the 1930s when a touring axeman from Australia by the name of Peter McLaren was actually selling plum axes for the Plum Axe Company, a U.S. company that actually is in West Virginia, and he started organizing small events amongst the various champions of logging camps.
Cool.
And so that's how lumberjack sports got its start. Timber sports evolved in 1985 here in the United States and is now on its nearly, what is it, will be 20, no, this will be the 30th year. It'd be the 27th year of timber sports. And in Europe, it's expanded exponentially. We now have 23 countries involved in timber sports. The United States is one of the front runners in it. The champion of the 2011 Timber Sports World Championships was Australia. Second place was New Zealand. The United States was third. Canada was fourth. France was fifth. So,
is that why all the axes, like the Tuatahis, come out of New Zealand and all that?
The axes, the competition racing axes, have been perfected by the folks in Australia and New Zealand. There is a major axe manufacturer in New Zealand called Tuatahi, which in their native language means number one. They actually produce in mass quantities axes, crosscut saws, and all of the accompanying accessories that a timber sports athlete would need. There are probably about 8 or 10 individuals in Australia who actually hand make their own axes. Wow. Just like people would hand make a knife. They get a piece of tool steel, they actually take the tool steel, they will use machines and they will machine it to the shape of an axe. Mm-hmm. They'll drill out the eye, then they will grind it down to the shape of the axe, then they will take it to a place where they can get it heat treated. And then they will have it heat treated, and after that they will use grinders and diamond stones and files in order to make it look like a competition racing axe.
Cool, that's really important because a lot of us, a lot of the guys who are our viewers are really into custom knife making.
Exact same process.
Cool.
Exact same process, but on a much larger scale. And the heat treating for the axe is only on the front part of the blade. So the back part of the blade is actually soft, which is not the same for a knife.
Yeah, absolutely. Any idea why we don't have any American competition axe manufacturers?
We actually do have one American competition axe manufacturer. He produces on a very small scale. Basically, it's custom order. And so they're very expensive. They're much more expensive than the Tuatahis, but he will make you an axe if you pester him enough.
Okay. Do you know his name?
Charlie Bishop.
All right.
Charlie Bishop from Tyler, Texas.
Now, a lot of the guys here are not competition guys at all, and I know that these axes are grinded a certain way that if somebody who was in the bushcraft or just camping, they might actually chip them out because it's not designed for the wood. Each grind's actually designed for the type of wood. What would translate, like maybe safety-wise, from that you know of from competition for using an axe?
Well, actually, safety for the actual sport itself is a lot different than safety, say per se, if you're splitting firewood.
Yeah.
Because for one thing, one of the events that we actually do is called the underhand chop. We stand on top of it, and we are required on the Timbersport series to wear protective chainmail legging, which is basically a shark bite suit that runs from the tip of the toe all the way up the foot and up to the front part of the leg. leg. So that way, if we actually do have an accident or a glancing blow, we'll just strike our foot, cut our shoe, but the chainmail will actually stop the axe from cutting our foot.
Wow.
With splitting firewood, the fundamental thing that I always tell people is you need to be the handle length away. You need to be the handle length away from the log that you're actually splitting. That way there is no way that you can actually strike your foot.
Oh, that makes sense.
When you are striking the log. So you want to be one handle length away, arm length, handle length. And so that way, and you want your feet square, and you want the hit to actually be in the center of your feet. You don't want it to be in line with your feet. You want it to be in the center. So that way, if you do happen to actually have a blow that goes, the axe is going to go between your legs instead of into your leg.
Ah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Any other tidbits? Where can we find more information about this process and getting into this?
The best place to go is stihltimbersports.com. On stihltimbersports.com, they actually have tons of links to other sites that are related to lumberjack sports, axes. If anything else, just Google racing axes or timber sports, and you'll come up with tons of links for lumberjack sporting related events.
Now, on the Stihl website, if you guys are wondering about the techniques of chopping, I think it's the standing log chop. They have a YouTube video that's 20 minutes long that talks about all the little ergonomics about chopping. You should check that out too.
Yes, absolutely. And the name of the page is Stihl Timber Sports Fan. Myself, Arden Coger Jr., I actually have WV Axeman. I do a lot of instructional videos for people who ask me questions.
Excellent.
And so it's just something I do. People shoot me a YouTube message. I'll actually upload a video on the specific question that they ask.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much, Jamie. This is Joe for Equipped to Endure. Remember, if you're not always prepared, you're never prepared.